In this session, we will discuss about the jet propulsion. Gas turbine cycle used to power aircraft engines is known as the jet propulsion cycles. In an ideal jet propulsion cycle, gases are not expanded to the ambient pressure in the turbine. In case of Brayton cycle, in the Brayton cycle, gases are expanded up to the ambient pressure, but it is not so in this jet propulsion. Instead, the gases are expanded to a pressure such that the power produced by the turbine is just sufficient to drive the uh, compressor and auxiliary equipments which are there inside the engine. Net work output in the jet propulsion cycle is always it is a zero. Means no extra work which is taken out from the jet. Only the whatever the amount of work is required for their own usage, that much of power is developed in the jet propulsion cycles. Gases coming out from the turbine at high pressure are subsequently accelerated in the nozzle to provide the thrust or propel the aircraft. Means the after the turbine, whatever the gases which are expelled to the atmosphere, expelled to the atmosphere, those high pressure gases are passed through the nozzles. Hence, the thrust or the force is going to develop. There are the classification of gas turbines engines for the jet propulsion. There are two types of categories are there. One is the turbojet engines. In the turbojet engines, turbo propellant engines and turbo fan engines and ramjet engine. That in that ramjet engine, pulse jet engine is the good example. In that turbojet engine, in this turbojet engine, there is the air is diffused in the first diffuser, which is the design will be like that only. The diffusion takes place after the diffusion. It is passed to the compressor. Yes, the compression takes place after that compressor. There is the combustion chamber will be there. In that combustion chamber, the fuel is injected. After the burning of fuel, the burnt gases are passing through this nozzle through the last diffuser. See, small mass of air is taken, the whole velocity is increased to the large value, and then pressure of incoming air rises to the slightly as it is de-accelerated in diffuser. This reduces the work required to run the compressor. Air is compressed further by the compression and the required pressure, and then the mixed with the fuel in the combustion chamber, where the mixture is burnt in the constant pressure. High pressure, high temperature combustion gases are partially expanded in the turbine, produced enough power to drive the compressor and the other equipments. After producing the power to the compressor and the other equipments, those gases, the exhaust gases, finally they expanded in the nozzle to the ambient pressure, leave the engine at the high velocity. Due to that high velocity, the jet of hot gases provides thrust, or the thrust is nothing but the force force to the aircraft to give the forward motion of the jet reaction. Means if it is the thrust in the backward direction force, it is pushes to the forward direction of the aircraft. Therefore, the aircraft will be moving in the forward direction. Advantages and disadvantages of the turbojet engines are simple in construction, easy to maintenance, occupies less space, attain higher speeds, 800 to 1000 km per hour, rate of climb is higher, and also the wide variety of fuel can be used. In this, the engine, ideal turbojet engine, wide variety of fuels can be used. And also the performance is not affect very much on the air fuel ratio. Some of the limitations or the disadvantages are like this. Material used are costlier, have the shorter in life. Means like these engines, material used will be very costlier and have a shorter life. The produces more noise, requires a long runway, if the takeoff period is higher, specific fuel consumption is higher at low altitudes. Okay, these are the some of the disadvantages of this uh, ideal turbojet cycle. Next, the turbo propellant engine. Turbo propellant engine, the propellant shaft will be there, propeller will be there. That's why it's called as a turbo propeller. But the working principle and the working method is same like the turbojet engine. Okay. Okay. The propeller, air is passed through the propeller and then it's a diffuser. Diffuser is the compressor and turbine. There is a fuel and nozzle. Everything is similar to the turbojet engine. The turbo propellant engine differs from the turbojet engine is that uses the propeller to increase the mass of flow entering into the diffuser. The mass of flow entering into the diffuser will be increased by using this propeller. That's why it is called as a turbo propellant engine. The increase to the high thrust per mass flow of fuel and also results in the better fuel economy. Means the high thrust, the high mass is passed through this diffuser means definitely the at the end of this engine there's the burnt gases are passing through this nozzle. Hence, the more and more thrust force means the propelling thrust may be generated. Working of the engine is similar to the turbojet engine. Nearly 80% of the expansion takes place in the turbine in order to run the compressor. Gas turbine speed being very high and reduction gear is used to run the propeller. Means due to the gas turbine running at the very high speed, hence to reduce the that to the normal level, the reduction gears are used to run the propeller. The advantages and disadvantages of turbo propellant engine is the provides the high thrust in the takeoff and better fuel efficiency, operates most economically over a wide range of 400 to 800 kilometers per hour. Maintenance is easy and has lower vibration and noise. Drag is less because less frontal area. Some of the limitations are the advantages and are there in this the engine also. Lower propeller efficiency, higher speed due to the shock and few flow separation. Reduction gear is essential, which increase the maintenance cost. The loss of energy due to the gear friction. These are some of the uh, limitations. Third one is turbofan or the turbo fan jet or bypass turbojet engine. Here, the modification of the turbojet engine, which is mostly used for the aircraft propulsion. In this engine, large fan driven by the turbine forces to considerable amount of air through the duct. Fan is there. There's a large fan there. The considerable amount is passed through the duct or cowl to the exhaust unit, bypass the engine. The portion of air is sent to the engine compressor and adding the advantage of creating the supercharging effect. Means the extra quantity of fuel is supplied. It acts as a supercharging, as like that of in normal engines, automobile engines. Supercharging means extra fuel is supplied to the engine cylinder. Hence, the complete burning of the fuel takes place. Here also the like that the supercharging action will be takes place in this aircraft also. A, a portion of air is sent to the engine compressor by adding the advantage of creating the supercharging effect. That point I explained now. Fan exhaust leaves the duct at higher velocity. Yes, the total thrust on the engine significantly. In this engine, high-speed exhaust gases are mixed with the low-speed air, which results in the considerable reduction in the noise. And third and the fourth one is ramjet engine, or it is called as lowering tube. In this, the principal parts are like this: the supersonic diffuser, subsonic diffuser, and combustion chamber, nozzle. Like this, four sections are there, and then air which is coming into the diffuser, and then it is passed through the subsonic diffuser and combustion chamber nozzle. Here you can observe here, there is no compressor and there is no turbine in the ramjet engine. Okay. It consists of convergent, divergent, diffuser. Convergent and divergent means the smaller area in the first. After that, it is goes on and increases. Finally, it is a diffuser, combustion chamber, and the exhaust gas, exhaust nozzle, like the tailpipe. The supersonic and subsonic diffusers increase the pressure of the inlet air to the ram pressure as leaves the diffuser sections. High pressure air is then heated about to 1500 to 2000 Kelvin in the combustion chamber by injecting the fuel. High pressure, high temperature gases are then expanded in the nozzle section, creating the very high velocity. These velocities will creating the high thrust. High thrust. Hence, there is a forward movement of this the aircraft engine takes place. Some of the advantages of this the Ramjet aircraft engine, that is the very simple and has no moving parts, light in weight, and the maintenance is free. All types of liquid fuels can be used. High pressure gases causes no danger. Yes, there is no turbine. Specific fuel consumption is lower than when any other jet engines. Jet engines, in particular, high speed, high altitude. Some of the disadvantages of this Ramjet engine: takeoff thrust is zero. Like air compressor is achieved by ramming action. A small turbojet is required for the starting the Ramjet engine. Design of diffuser is very critical, and special stabilization techniques are needed for the combustion chamber to handle the very high speed of air. Due to the high temperature, there is a danger of dissociation of products in the combustion chamber, preferred only for the high-speed military aircraft and missiles. This Ramjet engine is preferred only for the military aircraft and missiles. That's why the speed is more, and also there is no moving parts, and the maintenance is free. Like that, there is a lot of advantages and disadvantages also there. It is not used in the domestic aircraft like the helicopters and then the flights like that. It is only used in the missiles and the military aircraft. Last one category is a pulse jet engine. It is a shuttle valve there in this pulse jet engine. Along with all the this things Ramjet engine the parts, the one more is the pulse jet engine. In that shuttle valve is there. The pulse jet resembles the Ramjet engine except that shuttle valve, which makes the presence of the air induction intermittent. Pulse jet was developed in the Germany during the World War II. Operating cycle may be compared with the auto cycle and self-starting. Like the Ramjet, the engine, it is not having any turbine and compressor or any moving parts, so that the friction will be very less. Friction will be very less, and maintenance cost is less, and also it can be achieved very in a short span of time. There is a speed can be achieved, so that it is also used in the military applications and missiles. So that the Ramjet and pulse jet comes in the same category, but only the thing is, in this the pulse jet, there is a shuttle valve will be there to direct the incoming air into the different directions. Now, this completes the second unit. This completes the second unit. I'll go to the third unit in the next class.